been a hot minute since we were last out wandering up here, but we've come back over to Kinver again, just to the add-on to the last video, because there is something that I want to try and find, but you can't park near it, so I've got to kind of wander along this footpath for some time. I have no idea how long it's going to take. It is a frosty morning, so we are wrapped up nice and warm, so yeah, off we toddle. Wow, one thing I've noticed is that it's really quiet out this way. Once you get away from the main part of the rock houses, it's actually quite pleasant to wander around this back end of the woods. So, but everything is covered in a frost, and I wonder whether you call it a hoarfrost in Old English. Right, so just off the road, this is where it starts, and as you can see there's a purposeful tunnel cut here. You just have to excuse me. Oh, looks like somebody's dumped their old sofa, but there's a purposeful tunnel cut into the rock here, and if we go down here, as you can see, there is a little rock cut shelter in here. How fascinating. And here we are. Look at this. How fantastic. In here. Smells, I'm quite sure somebody's been trying to do something with it. So yeah, this is known as the Roman baths, and it's got nothing to do with the Romans, and it's got nothing to do with any kind of weird conspiracy theories or anything like that. This was built sort of around the early mid 1800s, I believe, and it was built by the guy that used to own the manor house just up the road, and I believe it was built for his daughter, so that his daughter could come away and bathe privately. So what we have is a river that flows that way, and then this is basically a folly, and I'll try and find some earlier pictures of it, but as far as I understand, all of this was kind of overcovered, and this was like a secret area over here. And as you can see, there's like loads of open spaces everywhere, and it looks like somebody's been trying to do something over there with it, which I don't really understand what they're trying to do. But what a fantastic little place. It's such a shame. I mean, it's completely dilapidated in that some of it might be able to be saved, but I don't really think a lot of it could be saved. But I think from the early pictures, it's quite extraordinary. As you can imagine, with rich Victorians and their follies. Yeah, the rock is just carved, there are little bridges everywhere, there's quite ornate brickwork, some of it's plastered, there's fireplaces. Yeah, absolutely fantastic little place. And I think this is about as far as it goes, unfortunately. I don't think you can go much further up there. How wonderful, what a wonderful life his daughter must have had with this. I mean, there would have been nobody around other than the odd farmer and gamekeeper, I'm assuming. So, and obviously Kinver wasn't as populated as it is today. And so she would have come down here in the greenery in the summer. You know, she would have bathed in the pools. She would have chilled out here. Maybe she even met a lover and her dad didn't know. Fantastic little bit of history. Fantastic little bit of history. What you have there is what almost looks like a dam. So I'm assuming that it would have potentially dammed this area here, and this maybe would have been the bathing pool. As you can see, there's quite substantial brickwork up there that's all tumbled down into the forest. But yeah, let's go and have a little wander. So as you can see, it was even plastered. Yeah, it was even plastered. So I'm assuming all of it was, and that, I wonder what that is there. That's potentially, that's proper gouged out. It looks like a door almost that's been filled in. In fact, I think it is. It's a door that was filled in. But the ground is so soft in there. But I wonder whether, so as you can see, it's all kind of corroding and caving in, unfortunately. Such a shame. Something like this should be saved. It should be saved. So we have a little room here. And I go through the door. And what we have is a fireplace and a little alcove. And then a little door off. There. And all of this is plastered. There's nothing that I could see pattern wise on the walls. Can I see patterns? Oh, I think we can just there. Whatever that is. Almost looks like an animal with its head. It is also graffitied. The plasterwork's actually surprised. It stood up to time. Maybe should have brought the torch. So yeah, we have this rather peculiar tunnel. Go on then, in. And it looks like somebody has been in here, maybe making a den out of it. Or trying to shore up the walls, perhaps. Very roughly though, very, very roughly. Decide what this is for. I think it's to kind of shore up the walls in here because it is very, very, very crumbly. But I don't believe this has been done by anybody professional. I mean, it's literally nailed into the walls. And as you can see, there's almost like another little plunge pool here, because you've got the, what you have going across here is the brickwork, and all this water pumps down into here, which makes this part deeper, and then you have a little outflow bridge there, and then just beyond that is another kind of slab, which then gentles the water, kind of smooths the water out, if you will. Which is interesting. I'm just wondering whether that's there to kind of block the outflow from that end. But yeah, fantastic little spot. What a find. So happy I found it.